not as easy as it looks to get them to come up to you and stay there, huh? On and off rain again. I was able to sneak a quick flight in. Had to use the Mini though, just because of all this unpredictable weather and all that. Pandemic stuff still going on, although according to this, it says we might actually go back to normal or try to, like within a few weeks. It says, envy of the countries. BC's plans for reopening to come. State of emergency extended. That's the weird thing. You basically say we're going to go back to normal, but yep, I guess they extended it again. To me, it'll be interesting to see how many businesses are, I guess, changed permanently, just in terms of layouts. Like with all these people installing these plexiglasses and stuff, I don't see a reason why they would remove it afterwards, even after the pandemic. It'll probably be the new normal. Although with pandemic and stuff, it's just unfortunate to read stuff like this again, where it's more about people and not the virus. This one says, transit police seek public's help in identifying suspect in violent attack on Skytrain. At approximately 7:50 a.m. on Saturday, April 25th, 2020, a young woman boarded a Skytrain at Waterfront Station. She was approached by a man on the same train who had been staring at her. When she asked the man if something was wrong, he started yelling at her, saying, quote, "You people are why my daughter is sick." The man then grabbed the woman's bag and without warning, allegedly punched the woman in the face multiple times. He then grabbed her by the hair and the back of the head, violently hitting her head against the Skytrain seating. When the Skytrain stopped at Broad Station, the suspect pushed the victim through the open Skytrain doors and grabbed her cell phone. As the victim yelled out for help, she was quickly helped by two Good Samaritans who were able to retrieve her bag from the suspect. Jeez, what's wrong with people? Although I always find it a little silly where, like here they show you, I guess, the video footage so you can see what he looks like and what he did, and they keep saying he allegedly hit the person. How can you say allegedly? Doesn't that show clearly? I know it's just for legality and stuff like that, but yeah. I wonder if this will be like the quote new normal too, just in terms of people being afraid of others, discriminating against them just because of things like their skin color and all that. It's like we're going back in time. Years of, I guess, effort and progress in trying to eliminate this stuff. It's basically just on the rise again, I guess, huh? I guess with things like drones and stuff like that during this time, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more people flying them in various places, maybe even in the backyard just because there's nothing else to do. Although reading this one here, it says, RCMP notified after drone comes too close to a plane landing at Nanaimo Airport. A drone came close enough to cause concern to the crew of a plane landing at Nanaimo Airport last week. The Air Canada Jazz de Havilland-8 aircraft was making its final approach to land in Nanaimo when the pilot reported a remotely piloted aircraft system at the same altitude just off their left wing. The incident report published by the Civil Aviation Daily Occurrence Reporting System says the pilot advised the drone was close to the aircraft and that it was black, small to medium in size, and looked like a personal use drone. The CADORS report categorized the incident as an unauthorized entry into a controlled airspace. The flight landed safely and RCMP were notified of the incident. So out of curiosity, I wanted to kind of see the report myself just to see what it was like, and it seemed like there were two of them in that area. This one here is basically the one they reported. It says a Jazz de Havilland DHC 8402 from Vancouver BC to Nanaimo BC that was turning 4 NM final for runway 16 reported a remotely piloted aircraft system at the same altitude, just off their left wing. The pilot advised it was close to the aircraft and it was black, small to medium in size, and looked like a personal use drone. No operational impact. Royal Canadian Mounted Police were advised. Anybody who actually flies airplanes want to try and analyze that, because it says 4 nautical miles away. So essentially, it's more about being in the controlled airspace as opposed to the actual airport, because you'd have to be about 3 nautical miles away based on the regulations here. So if you were that pilot, for example, how high would you be in the sky there as you're approaching landing to claim like, you know, there's a drone up in that space at the exact height, I guess you can say, like in the report. I was even doing it for fun, just as if I was, you know, trying to apply for permission to fly within the controlled airspace there. And yeah, 4 nautical miles is pretty wide. It's still in the controlled airspace as they said, but it makes you wonder if it is a drone, how high do they claim this drone was? Even the description makes me wonder, saying it looked like a personal use drone and it was, what, black? Actually, most drones, like the more common ones, like the DJI, they're actually not black. They're like gray or white and so forth. So what could it be? Even like more popular ones, like say even the Evos and the Skydios, none of them are actually pure black. and saying it looks like a personal use drone. What does a personal use drone look like? There's military ones that are so tiny that fit in the palm of their hands. So there, would you say drone or not in that case? It's one of those things you just never know nowadays. Although I guess an interesting thought about that, just in terms of things like safety in the air and all that. And the other report here, basically there was another incident. I was reading it and it kind of makes you think. This one says it was a Morningstar Air Express Cessna 28B. And it says from Vancouver BC to Nanaimo BC experienced a bird strike while approached for runway 16. There was no damage to the aircraft and no bird remains were recovered. There was no impact on operation. So here you actually have something that struck a plane and all that, and it was reported basically as an incident, but this one gets like no type of attention or anything like that. Ironically, like even for myself, when I'm flying a drone, man, I'm not worried about manned aircraft for how I'm flying and so forth, and where I'm actually more worried about things like a bird too. This will be interesting. See you guys later.